Let's get another day started, shall we? It is Tuesday, July the 16th. So glad you're here. Here's what we're working on this morning. Stelco is about to be sold to one of the largest steel makers in the United States.
More rain is on the way. That could cause more flooding in our area.
And we're getting a first look at Stranger Things Season 5. Good morning. Hello, Annette.
Hello,
Good morning.
hello.
Good morning, Brian Wood.
Morning.
And hello to the giant spider in the corner of our studio.
That's right. Yes.
Did somebody saved the day?
Yes, I rescued him earlier. He was wandering right across the pathway where we come into the studio, and I thought, no, you got to get going, go.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So
because you don't want to step on a spider because that means more rain.
Oh, do we need more rain?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. What a day yesterday. I mean, with the heavy rain and the flooding that we had, roads closed, highways were flooded out in some areas. Hopefully we won't get that much today. We got around 23 to 26 millimeters yesterday. That was a heavy downpour that we had. We could get another 10 to 20 millimeters for the day today. So yeah, another wet one potentially. Temperature at the moment sitting at 20, humidex already 28, but the good news is the heat warning is gone. It is going to get cooler, thankfully. The winds are going to shift around, but as I said, still chance of precipitation today. We should hit 28 degrees today, humidex in the mid-30s once again, but it is going to get cooler, so the heat is going to break. We'll talk about the forecast in detail coming up. We're looking at traffic this morning. Nothing to see, no collisions, not a lot of volume, 403 Waterdown Road. That's doing okay at the moment. We had some flooding yesterday around Waterdown Road, actually, on the 403. To our MTO traffic cameras, and not much happening as we look at Grays Road, Stony Creek, Toronto bound coming towards us. Toronto bound away from us now, top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, looking at North Shore in the distance. And we'll have a quick check of what's going on at Bronte, and just not a lot there. So we'll give you the details, weather and traffic. We'll look up some totals around the area as far as rainfall from yesterday. And, of course, traffic coming up, as I mentioned. But right now, we'll check the news.
We're going to check in with Simone in a moment in Burlington. But first, Stelco is about to be sold to one of the largest steel producers in the United States for $3.4 billion. So as part of the deal with Cleveland Cliffs, Stelco's headquarters, it will stay in Hamilton. The new owner says no union jobs will be impacted, but there could be some changes with upper management. The head of Cleveland Cliffs credits Stelco Chief Executive Alan Kistenbaum with being able to turn a, quote, underperforming asset under previous ownership into a very cost-efficient and profit-oriented company. Stelco stock gained nearly 74% on the news at last check, trading at $65 a share. The Cleveland Cliff cash and stock offer for $70 a share is expected to be voted on by the shareholders this fall.
The Ontario government is fast-tracking plans to get ready-to-drink cocktails in stores already licensed to sell beer, wine, and ciders. Those 450 stores can start ordering coolers and seltzers on Thursday and then can start selling them as soon as they're delivered. The move to get more drinks on store shelves comes after LCBO workers walked off the job July 5th in their fight against that very issue. Now, the LCBO has launched newspaper, radio, and TV ads today thanking customers for their patience and urging the union for LCBO workers to respond to their offers.
Ontario's health officials, they are seeing more cases of Mpox this year, formerly known as monkeypox. So 67 cases were reported from January 1st to June 15th of this year. Public Health Ontario says during all of last year, there were only 33 confirmed cases of the infectious disease. The Public Health Agency of Canada says over 95% of the recent cases in Ontario have been among men, disproportionately affecting those who are gay and bisexual. Now, Toronto Public Health recommends that getting 2 doses of the Mpox vaccine can reduce the risk of getting the disease by up to 83%.
Niagara police are trying to identify a woman found in medical distress in St. Catharines. She's believed to be in her 70s and was found Saturday near Parnell and Bunting Roads. Police have released this surveillance photo of her walking on the Lock 1 Bridge in Port Welland on Saturday. So she's white, about 5'3", with white and gray hair. may have an accent. It's believed to be a Dutch accent. She was wearing beige capri pants, a light-colored shirt, white running shoes, sunglasses, and a gray hiking hat.
Well, police in Brant County are investigating a suspicious fire that damaged several new homes. This happened around 5:30 on Saturday morning on Pot Roof Drive. Police say the fire had spread and damaged up to 9 new homes before firefighters were able to halt the blaze. Fire Chief Darren Watson estimates the damages to exceed $2 million. No injuries were reported, and the cause of the fire currently under investigation.
More rain's expected today, and that could cause more problems in areas of Hamilton and Halton hit by significant flooding just a few hours ago. Simone Gavros is in Burlington now with more.
Hi, good morning. And now, I'm here on Kearns Road, which is in Burlington near the 403 and Brant. And you can just see some of the remnants of the water that's behind me from that significant rainfall that we had yesterday afternoon. And just the baseball diamond over to the left of me as well still is damp from that significant rainfall. And there was many road closures as well that they were in place. Many have reopened, but there's still that flood watch that is still in place for today and into tomorrow. Now, this is just a look that posted online of that rainfall damage that we saw of all the flooding. This is near Burloak and the 403, and you can see trucks just going right through that water and some cars having water right up to their windshield. Now, Conservation Halton upgraded their flood watch outlook to a flood watch outright yesterday, which is around 1:30 yesterday. They said about 50 millimeters of rain fell throughout Burlington and Oakville in just a single hour. Now, viewers in Hamilton also shared photos of the flooding that they saw in their area. The Hamilton Conservation Authority have also issued a flood watch message, which is in effect until tomorrow, and they remind residents to be careful around bodies of water with faster moving water posing significant hazards. Now, if you have any video footage or any photos of the flooding damage from that heavy rainfall that we had yesterday, please send over to us at tips@chch.com, along with the region that you're sending your photo in from and the closest major intersection. But for now, I'll send things back over to you, Tim and Annette.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, at the Premiers and Territorial Leaders Conference in Halifax, Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Andrew Furey says he hopes his province and the federal government can settle their differences outside of court. His province plans to sue the over the federal equalization program, saying it's not being equally applied. Another concern at the Council of the Federation Conference, Quebec Premier François Legault says something needs to be done about the 190,000 asylum seekers coming into his province every year. The truck driver who caused the 2018 Humboldt Broncos bus crash in Saskatchewan has applied to regain his Canadian permanent resident status. When the Immigration and Refugee Board issued a deportation order in May for Jaskaret Singh Sidhu, his resident status was revoked. His lawyer says his client's wife and son are both Canadian citizens, and he's applying on humanitarian grounds because their child has health problems. Sidhu was sentenced to 8 years in prison after pleading guilty to hitting the junior hockey team's bus, killing 16 people and injuring 13 others. He was granted full parole last year. In happier news, the Stanley Cup is coming to Six Nations. Brandon Montour, who won the Cup with the Florida Panthers last month, is bringing it home a week from tomorrow, July 24th. The celebration will take place at the Six Nations Sports and Culture Memorial Arena from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. A parade starting at the Ohsweken Speedway will bring it to the arena.
I wonder if his good buddy Adam Henrique will be there.
I bet he will.
Yeah, who played for the Oilers and lost the Stanley Cup. Okay, here we go. We've hit the All-Star break in baseball, which is commonly known as really the slowest week in sports, with baseball only one of the 4 sports that are actually in action. So ahead of the All-Star game tonight in Texas, they had their home run derby, went down last night. And after the Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. won it last year, it was his buddy and former teammate picking up the prize this year.
Take right here.
Oh, he swings. Got it. Good legs. Good legs. Oh!
Oscar Hernandez is your 2024 T-Mobile Home Run Derby champ. It was
Yeah, Teoscar Hernandez becomes the first LA Dodger to ever win the Home Run Derby as he held off the Royals' Bobby Witt Jr., who grew up actually just 30 minutes from the stadium in Arlington, Texas, but was unable to tie it in the final round, hitting that last shot to the bottom of the wall. Losing 14-13, giving Hernandez the title. The 31-year-old who played 6 years for the Blue Jays before trading him at the end of the 2022 season, hit 49 home runs over the 3 rounds and had his pal Vladdy Jr. cheering him on throughout the competition. There he is right there. Speaking of Vladdy, who is the reigning home run derby champ, did not compete this year as he only has 14 home runs in the first half, but he did get voted in by fans to be the starting first baseman, that is, for the American League. He will bat 7th in the high-powered lineup for the AL, who had won 9 straight Summer Classics until the National League won last year's game in Seattle. So when it comes to pitchers, American League manager Bruce Bochy announced that the Orioles' Corbin Burnes will be the starter for the American League. The All-Star game tonight. 29-year-old is in his first season with Baltimore, posting a 9-4 record, 19 starts with a 2.93 ERA with the O's. Burnes, who won the NL Cy Young Award back in 2021 with Milwaukee, is an All-Star for the 4th straight year and will be the Orioles pitcher. First Orioles pitcher to start the Midsummer Classic since Steve Stone back in 1980. Meanwhile, in the other dugout, you have rookie phenom Paul Skeens. The Pittsburgh Pirate right-hander, who was drafted just last year, has taken the baseball world by storm since getting called up back in May. In his 11 big league starts, he hasn't lost, 6-0 with a 1.90 ERA, striking out 89 in 66 innings. He was also pulled from a no-hitter last week after reaching his pitch limit. He is must-watch for any baseball fan, and many will be doing that when first pitch flies just after 8 o'clock tonight. Well, on the heels of a tough loss to Ottawa on Sunday to fall to 0-5, the Edmonton Elks have fired their head coach and general manager, Chris Jones. It was Jones' second stint with Edmonton after being hired in 2021. Hasn't gone well with only 8 wins and 33 losses. Now, he did win the Grey Cup in his first go-around with the Elks, winning the Cup in 2015. Despite the winless record this season, all 5 losses were one-score games. Taking over as interim head coach is offensive coordinator Jarius Jackson, while assistant GM G-Roy Simon has been elevated to interim general manager. Ticats are the only other winless team. They try and get a win when they host the Argos on Saturday at Tim Hortons Field.
All right, 12 minutes after 6 o'clock. It's the 16th of July, and it is another muggy one, even here in the studio this morning. Even though the heat warning is gone, you're going to still feel it as you step outside this morning. Looking at traffic, first of all, the 403 Waterdown Road, it's doing fine at the moment, so nothing to see right there. And generally, that's how all of my MTO traffic cameras look this morning. Here's the QEW at Glendale, St. Catharines, then we'll come up to Grays Road, Stony Creek. Oh, that camera, see, that's what happens. It freezes, and then it just goes to that. So let's go to enough of my complaining already about the MTO traffic cameras. Here's a Fairview camera. That looks pretty good at the moment. East of Royal Windsor Drive all the way through. Ooh, we look at a real bit of construction still going on here. Looks like a disabled vehicle. No, it's that's construction. You can see the pylons off on the right lane. Still got a lane closed going through Cawthra, so that's construction just lingering here this morning. All right, let's get to our temperature. Temperature at the moment is 21 degrees, so it is a warm start to your morning here. 21, humidex already 29 degrees. Winds are light, relative humidity sitting at 100%. The rainfall yesterday in the 20 millimeters. Some areas got really heavier downpours where they didn't exactly accumulate as far as the tabs are concerned, but that's a look at generally at some of the rainfall that we had. Now, I mean, if you have a rain gauge, it probably said something different because even different backyards can have different amounts of precipitation. Here's our satellite radar picture from the past 6 hours. You can see we have another bout of precipitation moving in towards us. That's going to cross us a little later on this morning, give us another heavy downpour possible, 10 to 20 millimeters for the day today. Here's a look at the frontal boundary that's going through. That's going to give us that cooler air as we get into the forecast for a little later on this week. But yeah, still some instability today and tomorrow. Today's temperature is 28 to 29 degrees, 27 for Simcoe and Cayuga, 10 to 20 millimeters possible in some heavy downpours. Tonight, 18 to 20 degrees, so just a touch cooler. 17 Brantford, Simcoe into Cayuga, and then tomorrow Once again, 26 to 27 degrees, so a little bit cooler, but still that instability for the day tomorrow with chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. So out the door this morning, we're looking at a temperature of 21, mostly cloudy, light winds. Long-range forecast coming up at 10.
Thanks, Brian. He's back.
Hey, Louie.
Hello, Louie Butko.
Hey.
And for Emily this week,
How's it going, guys?
what's going on?
Well, we have our first look at the 5th and final season of Stranger Things. So last season had more than 140 million viewers globally. So we got a sneak peek at the new season.
How old are those kids now? That's tough, right?
They're
'Cause
not quite kids.
No,
Yeah,
they're not kids. They're like teenagers.
Millie Bobby Brown, she's quoted in it, and she says, when we started, I was 10. Now I'm 20. So, yeah, they're not quite kids anymore. And you were mentioning the Home Run Derby. I know you're going to have something coming up a little bit later on. There was a very memorable anthem performance, and we're going to look back at some other, let's say, shall we say, unforgettable anthem performances coming up in Chit Chats.
Okay, look forward to that collection there, pal. We'll see you at the couch in a little bit.
Sounds good.
Coming up after the break. Into business news, and StatsCan, they published a report about how the wholesale trade sector is doing. That and other business news in 2. Coming up on 6/18 on your Tuesday, here's some numbers for you. The Canadian dollar lost 14 cents, sitting at trading overseas at 73.19 cents US. Gold up over $11. 24.40 an ounce. Crude oil down 79 cents. 81.12 a barrel. Off to Europe. Hey, Europe, how you doing? Markets are down across the board. So not that good when it comes to the markets in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
In Asia, the markets were up in Tokyo, down in Hong Kong, and up a bit in Shanghai. Checking North American markets, the TSX gained 78 points, the Dow was up triple digits, and the Nasdaq added another 74 points.
Well, good morning. Glad you're with us on this Tuesday morning. Well, StatsCan says wholesale trade was down in May while manufacturing sales ticked up. The agency says the overall decrease of 0.8% to $82.2 billion for the month came as sales fell in 5 of the 7 subsectors. So the largest decline was in motor vehicle and motor vehicle parts and accessories, which went down 3.8% to $13.9 billion. Manufacturing sales rose 0.4% to $71.4 billion in May, led by an 11.2% production increase in the aerospace product and parts industry group. StatsCan will also release its inflation data for June a little bit later this morning.
The Bank of Canada's last interest rate cut, the first in years, didn't do a lot to boost consumer and business confidence. The central bank's consumer survey shows that financial stress was still pretty high this spring. Many Canadians reduced their spending and felt worried about the economy's future. However, the survey also found that plans to buy homes were about average, with many ready to enter the housing market soon. Business owners, though, more pessimistic than usual, with lower investment spending plans.
So media company Corus Entertainment is slashing more jobs and shutting down parts of its business and slumping revenue. The company, which owns brands like Global TV and YTV, posted a third quarter revenue decrease of $65 million compared to last year, citing a challenging advertising environment. TV revenue falling by 17%, radio revenue dropping by 10%. As a result, Corus announcing it will reduce its full-time workforce by 25%. That translates to 800 lost jobs. The company has already cut about 500 jobs by the end of May. All media companies have struggled as businesses look elsewhere to advertise. Of course, they say part of the slump is due to the 2023 writers and actor strikes.
Okay, we're taking a quick break right now. Brian is back with your traffic and more rain in the 7-day. Just what some areas need.
6:23, it's Tuesday morning. Let's check our cameras here to get you out on the roads this morning. Nothing to see here at the QEW Martindale. It all looks pretty good through St. Catharines, top of the Burlington Skyway, Toronto-bound lanes toward North Shore Boulevard. It's getting a little bit busier. Nothing at Bronte. We'll flip ahead to QEW at Sheraton. So on this camera, Toronto-bound lanes heading away from us. We'll dip into the 403 at Mavis. Not a lot going on there. We do have word of a disabled vehicle on the westbound 403 coming through Hamilton right around around York Boulevard. And remember, from all the precipitation we had yesterday, lots of puddles around. Be careful, and could still be some flooding in some areas. And we're going to get more precipitation for the day today. Check our temperatures right now. 21 Hamilton, humidex already, 29 degrees. 20 Grimsby, 22 Mississauga and Toronto. Seasonal temperatures once again for this time of year, 15 for the overnight low. 26 for the daytime high, which is where we got to yesterday. We had a humidex of 34, though. Those are our sun times and records for today, the 16th of July. So for today, a 28-degree high with a humidex of 36. Once again, there's that chance of showers and thunderstorms. We could get 10 to 20 millimeters again today. Tonight down to 18, chance of showers, thunderstorms. Tomorrow 27, humidex 32. So still a bit of heat continuing, but not into the heat warning area because the heat is going to really come down. On Thursday, sunny and 22. Look at the Friday and Saturday, 24 and 27. Now there is a slim chance of a shower by the time we get to Sunday. Otherwise, some sun, and it looks pretty good for Monday as well. Let's look at your forecast. Annette, Tim.
All right, thanks, Brian. 2 sets of 4 rare tiger cubs have been born on the same day at a zoo in Russia.
The cubs from Siberian and Bengal mothers are now 2 weeks old, and they're taking their first steps. Their mothers have taken different approaches to raising their cubs. The Siberian tiger mom's been carrying around her 4 cubs, proudly showing them off to the camera near their enclosure. But the mother of the 4 Bengal cubs, she's been a little bit more protective.
Okay.
Oh, they're so cute.
Did somebody have to go in there and film this?
I think there's a camera at the enclosure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like the new intern. Hey, Jimmy.
Go in.
I got a job for you. Go take a little.
You think there's a Jimmy at a zoo in Russia? Hey, Vlad.
Hey, Vlad. Vladimir. Get on in there, right?
Oh, look at them.
Cutie though. Hey, little guy.
They're so cute.
That's great.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Sorry. It was just hanging there. I just
Very
had to.
cute. Very
just had
cute.
to.
I'm not lying. I thought it was funny. Oh, I got a bigger one from Brian. We're going to go now while I'm ahead. More to come right after the break. Aren't you going to write it in front of you?
Tiger puns.
Thank you, Brian.